Hi everybody, welcome to Spruverse, my scale model universe. And now that we've had a little time to sort of come down and decompress from Wonderfest, I thought it might be fun to sort of show you all of the things that I picked up there. You know, like everybody was referring to the video that I posted, and thank you for all the sort of the kind words about that video, but they were calling me a kid at a candy store, and boy was I ever. You know, one of those things is you go for the first time and you walk into a place like that and you're just, you know, your head explodes and you go, I want this, I want that, I want this, I want that, I'll take this, I'll take that. And then you say, okay, well, how am I going to get all of this home? I'm not driving, I'm flying. So it became a bit of a thing, but I say most of the vendors were awesome and they were kind enough to ship things to me, and things have finally, you know, sort of arrived, and people needed to get home, and some people weren't going straight home, some of the vendors, so it took a little bit of time to get everything here, but it's here, it's all here. And so I just wanted to share it all with you, and why not, right? So the first thing I wanted to share with you was actually a house, I call it a housewarming gift. So my friend Stephen, who was awesome, and his brother, and I got to meet them at Wonderfest, and we hung out and had a really cool time. He surprised me with a gift. I kid you not. The man is, first of all, he's a good friend, but he's also a gentleman, and he's an avid modeler himself, very talented, and he was kind enough to give me this. Check it out. This is the Betty Page in orbit from Screamin'. Now, this is quite a special, a really special piece, because first of all, it's not easy to get a hold of, and second of all, these kinds of resin kits, they just don't come up very often, and they're great sculpts, and they're a lot of fun. And if you don't know anything about Betty Page, she was a pin-up girl from the 40s. Tragically, she didn't have the most spectacular life. Struggled a little bit with alcoholism and other things like that, but she was considered the sort of the end-all be-all of pin-up girls. And this cast celebrates her life, and it's a really, really beautiful cast. So check this out. It's a beautiful sculpt. It's a beautiful sculpt. And I'm really, really pleased with it. It has a clear bubble head. It's got a little bit of cleanup to do, but for the most part, it's quite a thing of beauty. Now, obviously, these resin kits, because of the age of them, it's obviously going to have a lot of mold release on it and oils and that sort of a thing. So I'm going to have to be really careful about making sure this thing is thoroughly clean. And then hopefully we'll all get a tutorial from Svi, the tattoo artist, who is a subscriber and a friend of Wayne's, and somebody I've just met who's an incredibly talented tattoo artist. Maybe I'll be reaching out to him for some advice on how Betty Page needs to be painted. But that's one of those things, you know, I don't do this very often, so it'll be fun to build this on the channel. And Steve, if you're around too, I'm sure you're going to be very helpful in giving me some tips as well. So I look forward to chatting with you about that. The next thing I did, believe it or not, was wander by a table that was selling these. This is from AK Interactive. It is the deluxe box set. It's box AK10047. These are weathering pencils. They're acrylic weathering pencils. I kid you not. Now, I'm sure a lot of you are saying, Phil, I've got them. Awesome. I don't. I do now. But The guys at the booth were kind enough to give me a bit of a demonstration on what they can do, and I was really impressed the versatility of them, you get, and of course I've turned it, I opened it upside down, which is like classic me. But you get, how many pencils do you actually get? Trying to think. Well, let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. So 20, 40, 38 pencils. Now, the thing about these pencils that is fascinating is it's actually acrylic paint in the form of a pencil. And you can actually use these dry, or you can use them wet. And they're great for streaking and scratches and chipping and weathering and adding all kinds of detail. The color range is absolutely phenomenal. And so I was thinking, you know, when you've got a small detail and you don't want to pull out all the paints and do all of that, I think this will really add some really impressive applications. Now, dry, they're good for chipping, surface chipping, scratches, highlighting edges, brush metals, and paneling. Wet, they're great for streaking effects, rust effects, smoke and grease, lighting and shadowing, dust and mud accumulation, and color transitions. So I can see already some of the applications you can use this for. You know, rust on the side of a ship, or perhaps some chipping or detailing like that. Anyway, very cool, non-toxic, and I'm really excited about playing with these. So I picked up the AK Interactive weathering pencils. The next thing I found, believe it or not, was this. Now, this has been out a while. This is the 1/850 scale Intrepid, the USS Voyager NCC 74656 from Voyager. And what's curious about this kit, and I've heard about these kits, I've never actually seen one in person, is these are just plug and play from Bandai. So the engineering on these are absolutely terrific. There's no painting required, the lighting system is included, and it's got all kinds of fun details. So I thought to myself, why not? And this was one of those things where, you know, I don't know, it's not the kind of thing perhaps I would ever find at my local hobby shop, because they're just not around anymore, and it would probably be a special order. But I'm sure you can pick these up on eBay. It's not that it's scarce or rare, it's just something I wouldn't think about picking up for myself. But it was in pretty good shape. Everything is sealed, so it's not like it's been opened or anything, but I thought it'd be fun just to show you the detail. I'm not going to open up the plastic, so forgive me for that, but the detail on this is absolutely extraordinary. And I really think that this will make a fun little sort of kit. It's very nicely painted. It's got nice shadowing. The detail is quite crisp. And I'm sure if you wanted to, you could probably add some modifications of your own. Perhaps even getting the nacelles to glow a little bit, because I'm sure this is just a switch on and off lighting system. So it might be fun when we come time to build this, is to sort of do a little research and see what I can do in terms of upping the game. This might be a quick conversation with Lou Del Masso. So we'll find out, because I'm sure he's built it or knows all about it. But anyway, so there you go. That is the Voyager. So I'm kind of excited about that. And I'm also excited about the fact that, you know, sometimes you put something on the bench, it's a little different, you know. It's not something I would do every day. And curiously, sort of the next generation of that is the Enterprise D that everybody's building now from, I suppose it's, well, we call it Eagle Moss, but they're promoting themselves as something else now. But if you want that, if you want to see how that kit's built, go check out World of Wayne, and he'll show you how to build that, build along with him there. But anyway, so this was the 1/850 scale United Federation of Planets Intrepid class starship Voyager from the television series Voyager. So that's exciting. The next thing I found was, I actually found a booth that was selling a whole bunch of kits, and I picked up a couple of things. I bought both of these at the same booth. The first thing I picked up here was this. This is the, from Mang, and this is the transport truck CN11403 from the movie Wandering Earth. Now this was sort of a well-received Chinese movie, sort of a futuristic movie. And I'd never built anything from Mang. I'd seen it a couple of times, and I've actually seen a build-up of a smaller scale version of this on Lou's channel, Aztec Dummy. But I thought to myself when I saw this in a 1/100 scale, 1/100 scale, that's what it says. I thought to myself, why not? You know, let's sort of give it a try. It's quite a thing. Now, what I did notice was that they actually are working in cooperation with AK Interactive. So they have used the AK Interactive paints to call out for this kit, which I think is really interesting that they're sort of working together. We're starting to see a lot more of that. It's quite a substantial thing. Now what you get is you get an inventory of all the pieces that are in the kit, which I've never seen that before. It's really interesting. It's literally just a manifest of all the parts. Now it is in English, so you, as well as other languages, so you are able to sort of go through, and it tells you you'll need some side cutters and a hobby knife and some tweezers, and so. And perhaps even a screwdriver, which, a limit regulator. I'm not sure what a limit regulator is going to be for, but that's sort of interesting. The kit comes in colored plastic. Trying to give you a sense of the scale of it by just sort of pulling up the, I guess this is the rear container. The tires are definitely all rubber, so that's cool. And the fact that it's in different colored plastics, it's okay. You know, I mean, it does help you kind of gauge where things are and what things are, I suppose. And you do get a bunch of interesting stuff, a screwdriver, some screws. The detail on it is quite good. It's quite exceptional. I don't know if you can see this through the plastic, I apologize, I just don't want to pull it out. But even the grading and the details on the grading and the piping, they all look very crisp. I see no flash whatsoever on this kit, which is really nice. And I see all of the smaller pieces in gray are all relatively clean. And there's a boatload of stuff here. Now I'm not sure if that's because there are several versions of this to build, or just that, you know, this is a bit of a behemoth. So that's sort of interesting. I wanted to pull this out because I wanted to show you that what comes with it as well are quite a sizable decal sheet. With all kinds of decals. Now, curiously, a lot of this I'm sure you could probably just paint and not necessarily use the decals. I'm not sure. And then at the very, very bottom of of the box is quite a nice, actually an exceptionally nice building guide. With an inventory of all the parts, how they all go together. It's very crisp. None of it is in English, it's all in Chinese, but it's obviously quite self-explanatory, so that's good. And it's exceptionally detailed. It's quite girthy too, so there's an awful lot to do here. The fun of something like this, for me personally, is weathering it. I don't know, there's something about weathering models, aging them, breaking them, and making them look broken, that it just, for me, that's where my heart is. I don't know. Perhaps I was a production designer or something like that in a previous life. But anyway, sort of fun. From Mang, and this is the cargo truck, transport truck CN11403 from Mang Industries. So, put this back. Move it to one side. Now, I've become a fan of these MA.K. Maschinenkrieger. I've picked up like 6 or 7 of these kits. I've not built any of them yet, but I'm just fascinated with the engineering of them. And I've seen a couple of them finished and over the years, and they make really awesome display pieces. The detail on them is extraordinary, so I pick them up. Anyway, this particular one I've picked up is called what do you call it? I suppose you call it the hang on, I'm going to try. I'm going to try. Forgive me. It's the Kraken Vogel FNS 465. And this is obviously from Wave Corporation, which is a hobby company in Japan, believe it or not, of all places. What cracks me up about that is it's kind of promoted the same way Häagen-Dazs ice cream is. Häagen-Dazs is a Japanese company and it doesn't mean anything in German, so it's kind of cool that they're promoting this as if it's some kind of a European model kit. It's very funny. But again, very clean, interesting scale, and it's essentially just a little, it's just a little droid. But what I find fascinating about these particular kits is they come with metal and rubber pieces to add a really exceptional detail to these things. And there's a little guide that you get with it, not complicated builds, and then at the bottom is a card that curiously is a sort of paint and marking guide. And I really like that. I think I really appreciate that. So you've got some decals. I see them here. Not super impressive, but a few numbers, a few warning signs, things of that nature. But again, it's one of those things that will age up brilliantly and look really great on a little stand. And it's also one of those things, if you get it right, and I'm just saying, I'm not guaranteeing, but if I get it right, it could be a Wonderfest sort of thing, because it's easy for me to transport. So maybe that's one of the kits I'll think about building for Wonderfest next year, not sure, but I picked that up as well. Now, this is from a company called jpg-productions, and I'll put a link to their to Jimi's website below. He had a booth and he had this kit out, and it was just, for me, and it's unique, it's different. Here's a photo I'll show you. Well, it's in the screen here, but I'll put a better photo of it on the screen for you right now. And this is out of I guess, the imagination of a guy called Nicholas Sagan. It's a 3D master patent from him. It's in 1/350 scale, that's what it says. I don't know what scale that is, actually, to be honest with you. 1/350th of what? But anyway, this is the EF-76 Nebulon B hospital transport ship in resin. And it's from jpg-productions, and I picked this up from Jimi over there. And an absolute gentleman. I really enjoyed meeting him. This is a rod that obviously comes with it to put it on a stand, although he had his on an acrylic stand to hold it up, and I might do that. I'm not going to take everything out. It's a boatload of pieces. It doesn't come with paper instructions. It comes with a little a computer disk, a disk, and so we'll pop that in, and I'm sure all the instructions are on there. So I do appreciate that, because I can download that, and then I've got a great reference for it. But I did want to show you just some of the detail, because it's beautifully done. I mean, it's cast resin, and you know, I'm a sucker for cast resin. I don't know why. I guess it's because ultimately, at the end of the day, garage kits, you know, this is how they are. But the production on this is beautiful, and what I find fascinating about this particular kit is the way it builds. It reminded me of armor plating. So there's no, it's sort of piece overlapping piece overlapping piece, and so when you look at it in its complete form, it almost looks like plate on plate on plate, if that makes sense. It's not sealed in any way, shape, or form, but pieces cover other pieces, so it starts to sort of all come together and make this really interesting layered kind of thing that will obviously weather quite nicely, and it just is a unique piece of science fiction fantasy. Now, you can see here the detail on this is quite extraordinary. Lots of gack and opportunities to add even more gack if you wanted to. It is cast resin. You've got quite a bit of flash to deal with, and I can see the clean, you know, a little bit of cleanup here. But for the most part, I really like what I see, and all of the lines, all of the panel lines are quite crisp and quite clean. It's just a boatload of pieces, and I have no idea how any of this goes together, so I'm not even going to try and pretend that I know how it goes together. But I can see that an awful lot of work has gone into this. Now, as I look closely at it, there are some mold issues in some of the resin pieces here, but perhaps we can take advantage of that and make it look like battle damage. I'm not sure. Definitely opportunities to light. I think fiber optics is probably the best way to go about it with something like this. Although I'm not entirely sure yet, because I have not gone into this at all, so I don't know if there are any lighting instructions in here or not. But if I need any help with lighting, I'll just call my friend Randy over at Voodoo Effects and ask him what I should do, and he'll hook me up, and I will buy a kit or something from him. He'll put something together for me, and unless I can find something from my stash, I'm not sure. And of course, as with all of these resin kits, I'm seeing an awful lot of flash, as I mentioned, and there definitely is going to have to, everything's going to have to go in a warm bath of soapy water, usually Dove. I use Dove usually. And I'll probably build this on the channel later in the year, or maybe early next year, I'm not sure. But just a boatload of pieces. I mean, just a boatload. I'll take open one more bag just to sort of show you those. Now, some of these pieces, curiously, I can see are 3D printed as opposed to a mold. And that's fine. They just need a little bit of cleaning up, but lots of fun. You could potentially drill into some of these things and try to get some light in there. I don't know. but there's just a boatload of gack here to put on this thing, so it's going to be an awful lot of fun to put together. And I thought the design of it and the imagination that went into this, I thought was, why not, you know, try something different. That's what I appreciate, because you know, we can always build kits that come out over the transom, and that's fine. So anyway, that was my stash. I definitely stimulated the economy, but it was a blast, and I'm really happy with all the things that I got. Certainly things that I don't see on a daily basis. Oh, the one other thing that was really fun was Jimi as sort of sent me a couple of consolation gifts, just saying thank you. This was bizarre. I don't even know what this is for. You could definitely put it in a diorama, but check this out. This is an X-Wing in I don't know what scale, but I can't do this justice really, but it's fascinating. The detail on this is absolutely exceptional. I'm putting this up to this camera. I don't know if the light can pick this up. Maybe this camera can, but it's incredible. It's an X-Wing. It's actually 3 X-Wings. How about that? There's 3 little baby X-Wings. That was an extraordinary little gift, and it's in the same scale as this little Millennium Falcon that he also sent me. Jimi was so kind to do that. This Millennium Falcon is as I said, from Empire Strikes Back, and you could probably build this in like 20 minutes and put the 2 in a little diorama. That might be fun. I don't know, you know, maybe a rainy day and you want something to do in an hour and a half. You got this. So what a lot of fun. So that was it. I just wanted to share with you my stash, my Wonderstash as I call it. And so that's it. The only other thing I wanted to say at the end of this video quickly is I recently been in touch with Wally Pasternak at Starfleet Model Academy. Now, I don't know if any of you know who Wally is. If you don't, go and check some of his videos out on YouTube. He was one of the sort of the grand dams, I should say, of doing this years and years ago, mostly building Star Trek models. What an absolutely awesome human being. And Wally has been suffering with some illness lately and having a real tough time of things. And I know he's had a couple of surgeries over the years that he's just battled through. But I did hear from him the other day, and he did say that he wanted to asked me to let everybody know who may know him, to say that he's okay, he's hanging in there, and he desperately wants to get back to building models. And Wally, if you do watch this, I love you, man. Bless you. Please try to get better as soon as you can. The modeling community is a better place with you than without you, okay? So, as I always sign off, in the spirit of a big shout out to Wally, be safe, be well, build something, and I'll see you next time. Take care, everybody.